Alright, so this is the 10 minutes speaking, so let's get started. Right, so the advice do you have a college graduate? Certainly I do want you to apply for a job at solar cities such as SpaceX. And if not, then if that doesn't work for whatever reason, then apply the jobs at other companies in that arena or join studying a company. If you're studying engineering and you figure out how to design new things, and then it's relatively easy to start a company. Usually you get a few like-minded people with you. But say to start business is quite hard to start a company in start business. It's capital is business, so it's maybe better to do something in solar power. Or if you want to do it in cars, it is in kind of common supplier for cars or something like that. Most have credit degrees in business and physics, but SpaceX is the first venture in aerospace. How did you get to this deputy to the chief technology officer of a rocket ship company? Well, I do have a physics background that's helpful as a foundation. And then I looked at books and talked to a lot of smart people. Don't just follow the trend. You have my head to say it. It's good to think in terms of physics approach to the first principles, which is rather than reasoning by analogy, which boils things down to the most fundamental truth you can imagine, and you reason up from there. This is a good way to figure out if it's something really that makes sense, or if it's just what everybody else is doing. It's hard to think that way. You can't think that way about everything. It's a lot of effort. But you try to do something new is the best way to think. And the framework was developed by physicists to figure out counterintuitive things like quantum mechanics. So it's a really powerful method. I want to know what it is one thing that has brought you about your life. Well, simply as brought about the whole thing. Honestly, it's better to be or for any of these things to happen. Honestly, um, yeah, I just I know I wanted to be involved in technology, um, and in fact I really sent the company back in '95 because the companies was I couldn't get the companies I couldn't get a job at any of them. Um, Actually get a job at Netscape and I sent my resume and I tried hanging out in the lobby, but it was too shy to talk to anyone. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I have to start a company because I can't get a job anywhere. Thank you. I wouldn't say I'm fearless. In fact, I think I feel fear quite strongly. But I know if the what we're doing isn't important enough, then I just override fear. So it's not as hot. I don't fear. I feel fear like more stronger than I would like. I think also people tend to override risk on a personal level. It's one thing important thing to know a mother to pay and kid to support. And if you were deviate from your job, then well, how are you going to feed your family and pay the rent? Okay, that's understandable. But let's say you're young and just coming out of college or coming out of high school or whatever. What you risk? You're not gonna stop. I mean, it's really certainly not in any kind of modern economy. It's so easy to earn enough money just to live somewhere and eat food. I don't know what other people what they are afraid of. They're mostly afraid of failure, I think. Those would be less risk averse than when they have most at risk. What's the education like basically downloading data and algorithm into your brain. And It's actually amazingly bad in confessional education. It should be like this huge chart. It's better when you can amplify the process of learning, the better. I also saw slides as on quizzes because we're trying to figure out what does all mean, what the purpose of things. And I came to the conclusion that if we can advance the knowledge of a word, we do things that span the scope and scales of consciousness. Then we better to able to ask the right questions and become more elegant, and that's what really the only way forward. What drives you? What is it when you wake up in the morning to see a problem and you want to solve it? Um, the thing that drives me that is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. So we're doing what we can to have the future be as good as possible. Um, to be inspired by what is likely to happen, and then to look forward to the next day. So that's that's what really drives me. Is when they figure out how do we make through that thing as great, and I'm really so, and that's the underlying people principle behind Tesla and SpaceX. And things that I think is pretty important that we accelerate the transition to sustainable generation and consumption of energy. It's inevitable what it matters if it happens sooner or later. And then SpaceX is about helping make life multi-planetary, and doing what we can to continue the dream of Apollo, and ultimately make a contribution to life becoming multi-planetary. Let's little more about that. I think everyone is very interested that we can make life multi-planetary. Yeah, that's exciting. It is exciting. So what's your vision there? No, I think particularly for Americans, if you think about it, America is a nation of explorers. People come here from other parts of the world. Choose to give up the norm in favor of the unknown. Um, so I think exploration like the United States is a distillation of a human spirit of exploration. And so that's why it appealed to Americans so much. You know, you can see this when this was so charity and seven people died. And that's terrible, but a lot of people die all the time. But why do we care so much? Because it was a dream of a aspiration that was dying along with those people. That's why. I mean, thoughts of Paul especially who failed at the beginning. You thought? Yeah, sure. Really? Of course. If you last you put all your money in them, and it's better to lose it. And well, exactly that what I thought was, well, I take half of money from PayPal, and if I lose half of it, that's okay. Um, but then of course the companies encounter difficulties, and then I have a choice of either like let the company die, or put all the money into the companies. And so I really don't want the company to die, so I put all the money into the companies. Yeah, and then I have to borrow blood money from friends to pay living expenses. Just looking for this of exceptional ability. It's a track record of exceptional achievement. It will likely that will continue into the future. Also, really depends on the stakes. If it's like high, if it's really important, then one should then overcome the fear and just do it anyway. Um, I essentially, I just try overall 3, but I feel the 3, it's kind of annoying. I wish I didn't. I wish I did less. Uh, it's kind of annoying. I wish I didn't. I wish I did less. Alright, so this is the end of this 10 minutes looking for today. See you guys again in the 20 minutes looking and the 30 minutes looking French. Alright, see ya.